is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out New Cat Body by Jeremy Campbell.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. I'll be your host. We're going to be talking quite a bit about the OTAs starting yesterday and somebody who's turning heads that wasn't even drafted by the Lions. Somebody I predicted that would turn heads. Matthew Betts, the CFL Defensive Player of the Year last year, is showing out day one. He made it a nightmare for Goff and for Hendon Hooker, playing on both sides of the 7-on-7. Ricky Sakat, good afternoon, sir. Woody Bach, glad to see you here waiting for us. Smoking Dad in the building, but Matthew Betts is looking like the best defensive end opposite Hutch so far after day one. Granted, it's still not in pads. Granted, it's still 7-on-7s, but he is up against the full complement of starters here now, and he's showing out, making plays behind the line, not only in the run game, but also in the pass game. And shocker, Hendon Hooker, once everybody's back, struggled his first day of camp. No, I didn't get a chance to watch because I was getting all the news I can before I go live about yesterday. I'll watch it after the show because that's what I do. I always watch them all. I just save them and watch them at night after I'm done podcasting and working for the day. So I'll watch them tonight, Braylon. But Matthew Betts is looking great. Hendon Hooker struggled, and you should expect that. It's his first off season working out with the team. So I take it with a grain of salt. It's no different than any other rookie that came into the league that's struggling right now. They're going to struggle. That's what camp is for. You work on those things in camp. But yeah, if Nate Sutfeld wins, that's bad. But it's first day of camp. He struggled one day out of the other 2 weeks. So let's put up little. It's his first year. He'll beat out Nate Sutfeld. Sutfeld can't make a roster anywhere because every time we cut him, he comes back. We've all seen what Sutfeld does. We haven't been able to see what Hendon Hooker does in a game situation, is my point, Braylon Dennis. But at the same time, Jack Campbell making it rough on Goff. Intercepted a pass intended for ARSB, our number one paid wide receiver, and made it hard on Sam Laporta intercepting another pass. Huge day for Jack Campbell. The defense overall looks like it's much improved. Because remember last year at camp, we kept hearing how much better the offense was when the defense. We're not hearing that anymore. That's a good thing to hear because we know how good this offense can be. And if our defense is stopping our offense, that's a good problem to have. Iron sharpens iron. You learn more from failures. So, yep. You know what fail is? Fail is an acronym. First attempt in learning. If you expect guys that are young in their first workout to fail. Amen, Woody Buck. Fred Peterson in the chat. How you doing there, buddy? Like the chat overlay stopped working. That's okay. Good afternoon. It's a great day to be a Lion. One pride. Happy to be here talking Lions football again. But how happy is everybody that we got ahead of all of these signings, doing Amon Ra, Panay Sewell, and Goff when we did, and now you're hearing about, that's some real shit. Yes, it is. I am doing fantastic. Um, every day is a that I wake up is a great day. No matter how bad you feel, no matter what your problems are in life, the fact you get to see them another day is good. And I'm glad to hear you've been busy. I know you haven't been on for a minute. Been missing you here in the chat, Fred. But yes, we are live on the Huddle Up Sports Network on Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. Go get the app. You can watch us live on your TVs and chat through your phones. Makes for a bit puts my ugly mug right there in your face. Ah, buddy of mine wants a link. I'm gonna give it to him. Not to hop on. McCaffrey and Jennings got paid before Ayuk. Yes, they did. I knew McCaffrey'd get paid. He got 3 million more per year than what he was getting already. The next 2 years, he makes 19 million a year. Good for him. Easier time to tune in on work from home these days. That's good. I saw a clip from RG3. He said this season is set up great for the Lions. They'll to have a Super Bowl room. Only three outdoor away games, two of which are in the division, Green Bay and Chicago, then 49ers. And here's the better thing. We play in Green Bay in October. It's not cold yet. It's just like last season. We go there earlier in the year. The only two outdoor games late. The only two outdoor games late is Green Bay and San Francisco. I mean, it's Chicago and San Francisco. The Chicago game in December scares me. Even the Thanksgiving Day game, if you really think about it, because by that time, Caleb Williams, if he's learned how to read and react and do well, he'll be getting into his stride come week 12. And that could spell issues with that receiving core and everything else. But if our defense is doing good, it'll be a battle. Yeah, exactly. They would only let me put so much into text. Yeah, it is warm in San Francisco. It'll still be about 55 to 65 degrees. The cold weather game in Chicago scares the shit out of me, though. We saw what happened in the cold weather last year. It's everything they predicted it would have been. So we are real close to having our website up and running. So that if you guys want to get some show paraphernalia, we'll be selling polos, we'll be selling lanyards, we'll be selling yard flags. We're going to get up some FTP stuff. We got bottle openers, coasters. We can get mini helmets, custom jerseys, whatever you want. And officially, the new jerseys are able to be ordered as custom jerseys. You can get them with official players' names and numbers if you want, but they are available as custom jerseys. So pretty soon that's going to be up and running, and I will have that link with a QR code in our video every time, so you could just click on it, go to it, order what you want. Everything will be priced fairly. We don't like to overprice. We're not trying to make $1 million off of one person. We're trying to make $1 million off of everybody. Dan Leonard has an offer to anyone that wants to support the show. If you cash app $10 to me or Dan Leonard, which let me look up his cash app and I'll add it into here because I have it. It's been a minute since I sent him one. Give me just a moment to find it. Let me add that in. We will send a set of coasters to shipped. There we go. Now it's done. And also, we gained another subscriber since we went live. We are back at 447, getting more subscribers every day. I don't, I, and a lot of people that have subscribed in the past and don't pay attention to it, it actually will remove you as a subscriber. So if you haven't been active, or if you know somebody that's a fan of the show and they haven't been active, have them go back and check because sometimes they get removed after they haven't commented on a show in 6 months to a year. And I know that some of these people have left because they don't like my takes on Goff. But at the same time, I have never bashed Goff and said he was a bad QB. Those words have not came out of my mouth. They have came out of Leonard's because he's a Giants fan and he hates them. Well, number one, it's not just outside, it's the wind coming off of Lake Michigan that makes a difference in Chicago. The way that stadium's set up, it is not conducive to good field goal kicking. We have seen lots of good field goal kickers fail in that stadium because of the swirling winds at both end zones. So our only outdoor cold weather game is literally Chicago. All the rest of our games, 14 games in a dome. But at the same time, we play a lot of teams in their domes too. But we had a better road record than we had a home record last year, which is crazy. And in the playoffs, and that negates it. But Betts is looking like he might be the guy. And I like that. I hope we hear more about that today. I want to hear that he's that guy that we wanted, that sleeper type of pickup that Brad Holmes gets through UDFAs, signings, and everything else. And I gave it a 55 to 60% chance that he could be the starter, even though we signed Davenport. We signed Davenport and Reeder as vet leadership, but Reeder is more of a starter than Davenport is due to his health concerns. if we can keep Davenport and Houston on a constant rotation on passing downs and use Betts for first and second downs, wouldn't that help to keep him healthier and let him be a misguided missile from the outside to get the quarterbacks? I think he'd actually have a better season and be able to play more games that way. And it's why I said that all along. Brad Holmes has said, if you're performing, we don't care. We want you on the field. And the fact that you haven't heard anything about Levi on Wuzariki, Josh Pascal, John Kaminsky, I'm telling you, don't be surprised if Betts is our starter come season time. And if he's not, I'm not surprised either. We have some proven commodities that we signed, Davenport and Reeder. I think it's going to come down to Davenport or Betts as the first down starter at the end, opposite Hutch. Comiskey, everybody says, "Oh, he had a bad year," but if you look at his snap count, it was impactful because he was usually only on the field when Aiden Hutchinson wasn't. So that's a huge thing to look at too. But our secondary and the defense overall dominated day one. And in a way, I kind of want that to continue. And everybody forgets Terrion Arnold. If you look at his contract, it's actually very super team friendly. They made most of it signing bonus to keep the cap hit low. He's still making what he's supposed to on the rookie cap, getting his 14 million for the 4 years. It's 14.3 million, but he has less cap room because his first 2 years, he's still getting NIL money from his deal. He gets $883,000 a year. So he wasn't really looking to be in the he wants to play in the NFL because he's a football player and loves the game. And that's something that the NIL deal is going to help some of these younger guys. Look at Caleb Williams. He was getting 25 million a year at USC. The next 2 years he gets half of that. Whatever you made in college, you get half of that the next 2 years when you get to the NFL. But Fanatics, the whole thing with MHJ and the reason why he hasn't signed his NFLPA agreement is because Fanatics gave him an offer sheet. He never signed a contract. That's why it's in dispute. And I have the feeling he's going to win that because he didn't sign the contract. He only signed an offer sheet. Somebody commented on one of my posts. I mean, look at PFF. Panay Sewell was ranked the best tackle on either side. Uh, Taylor Decker was at 16th. Uh, Graham Glasgow was in the top 20. Frank Ragnow was the third best center. If you add all that up, right now we have the best veteran room, and Zietler was a top 10 guard. So we literally have an average of 7 overall at O line, which is for their PFF ranking, which is the best overall ranking in the NFL. And if you go by relative athletic score for everybody across the board, that's a 10-point scale. The Lions have the 12th best athletic roster at 7.5. Hey Jeremy, how does your day? Silly question. In OTAs and preseason camps, do a player that had a good practice get to wear a colored jerseys? to show that they were the player of the day. Um, what they do is they give that player the green dot, which means he's the mic'd up one that talks to the coaches. Doesn't fail. Soon as I get on here, I start getting busy. This noon change is killing people on lunch break, I guess. I hear you, Orlando, but glad you could pop in. Happy to see you. The Dolphins do that. The player they gets to wear an orange colored jersey and gets to select the music for practice. That's cool. I think there's something about the music for practice, but Dan Campbell likes to pump Metallica. That's more his mentality, anyways. I already got my topics and my show set up for tonight. Did it way ahead of time because you know what? I could. Uh, did you guys actually see the contract breakdowns for Justin Jefferson? It's actually way more team friendly than ever was it until year 3. Who's Duplo? I don't even know who Duplo is. Never even heard of the guy. Good morning, Matt Henry. The Jay Jetta contract, 2024, 8.5 million. 2025, 15.3. 2026 is where it gets dicey. The dead cap's still too high, and that's 39.1. The dead cap's too high again in 2027, which is 43.4. And 2028 is a team option year, and it literally saves them $40 million if they don't exercise the team option. And then 2029, they pay $6 million for him not to be on the roster. But I have the feeling if he continues this trend of getting the 1,000+ yards receiving yards every year, they'll probably renegotiate and restructure that contract in 2026. But at the same time, and I've said this over and over again, a player has to agree to be restructured or they're going to make the team pay him that contract money. Considering the dead cap is over what he makes, he could sit there and go, "No, I don't want to." He could do the same thing in 2027 and make them pay that money. I mean, because the average is 35 million per year, but as you can see, the first 2 years, that's chump change they're paying him. He's still underpaid for 2 years. And how is everybody doing this afternoon? Put it in chat. Love hearing from my fans. I think it's fun. I think it's relaxing. Um, I pretty much went over everything from OTAs. Hendon Hooker struggled. Shocker. Fade to Black on repeat. Very good. Yeah, Fade to Black's a good song, but he plays more like Jump in the Fire, Kill 'em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. Yeah, they have to restructure his deal because his dead cap is still higher than his 45.5 million dollar cap hit. But he has to accept it, or they're stuck with him for a year at that money. The next year it's 49 million, but it's only a $9 million dead cap hit. So in 2026, they could just cut him if they had to, or trade him away and get more stuff for him. Let somebody else renegotiate him. And if you actually listen to everything that Devontae Adams has said, he kind of wants out. And I have the feeling in 2 years he'll be traded because he's going to tell them, no, I don't want to restructure. And they can't afford to cut him. But like I said, getting ahead of all this stuff, CD Lamb is sitting out of mandatory OTAs and not wanting to play unless they get his extension done. Would you rather have Devontae Adams or Danny Dimes a year for 45? It's Devontae Adams, 100%, Matt Henry. If you say anything other than Devontae Adams at 45 a year, you're wrong. He's going to make a QB better around him. He catches a lot of stuff in his catch radius. Fred Peterson, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it while you're on your break. I know you got to roll. Have a great day and one pride to you too, sir. Yep. He is sitting out of the mandatory. No, this isn't minicamp. This is OTAs. He didn't go to the any either one of the camps, and he's sitting out of. He sat out of the voluntary OTAs, and now he's refusing to be in the mandatory OTAs, and he's still on his rookie deal. So technically, it's only costing him $250,000 to not be there, and he don't care. And I don't blame him. He wants his money. He just saw Jay Jetta get paid. He's like, I want some of that too. And Jerry Jones is that stubborn, obstinate guy that'll pay him $141 million to say he has the highest paid wide receiver in the league. While everybody says they didn't even do anything with Dak, I heard they tried to restructure him into his new deal for the extension, and he refused the restructure to take less because he wants the balloon payment. So him not getting a deal done is as much on Dak as it is on Jerry Jones. He was trying to free cap so they had room to be able to make word. And Matt Henry, I completely agree with what you're saying there. I agree, but that's an example how out of control the market has gotten, and QBs are getting contracts because of the market value. And pretty soon that market's going to get reset. There was a rule put in last year, and not a lot of teams are doing it yet. If you are an owner of a team and you own something that can sponsor a player, you can make sponsorship part of that contract value. That way it doesn't hurt the cap hit and they're getting money from your other franchise. So let's say Sheila Ford Hamp, who's closer to her mother than she is her brother. Her brother runs Ford. Her mom owns Firestone. She could go to Goff and let's say we've gotten close and haven't got it done and they want to keep him longer. Right. Manu isn't looking great. He's a rookie. He's a backup. He's supposed to be learning. And, and he will get worse before he gets better. Every rookie does. There's a transition to the NFL from college. I have CD Lamb as probably the fourth best wide receiver in the league. I have Jay Jefferson at fifth right now. And I would say first, but he hasn't been healthy since his rookie season. He hasn't put up those numbers, and his touchdowns have dropped each year. He was great his rookie year. He was okay his second year. Last year, it was just okay. How come Vaki is looking good right now? Because he's running behind an amazing O line. Running backs don't have the same transition that other players do. Sometimes players need to develop. He was a late round pick for a reason. He was a fourth round pick. That's a development project as undone. It's going to take him a year or two to get it underneath his belt. Watch. I bet you Manu will figure it out. He has good coaching. He has great guys around him to help him exceed, and they will. You guys act like fourth, fifth, and sixth round picks are supposed to be amazing. Every now and then you find a diamond in a rough. That's how it works. or somebody fell that was supposed to be a day 1 or day 2 pick, a la Christian Mahogany. Broderick Martin is showing out right now. I don't know what you're talking about. You can't call someone a bust right after they're drafted, dude. You are so down on Broderick Martin, and DJ Reader said he's already seeing improvements working out with him. Reader has been working with Martin to teach him to be better. And plus, we got a great defensive line coach now to help him improve. The guy we had last year, I never even heard of, and I didn't expect much. Now we got Terrell Williams. Before that, we had Todd Walsh. Aleem was better because he was taught by Todd Walsh. I think Dallas will and must lock up CD, but Parsons and Dak want to be paid. I don't think Dak's getting paid unless they win multiple playoff games. I think Dak will end up walking next year. This is the last year of his contract. Parsons, on the other hand, they can fifth year option him, and I think they did already, so that means they don't have to negotiate anything until next season. And they don't have any money to work with this year because of Dak's contract, who refused to restructure. Yeah, slimmed down and toned up. He's looking like Martin's going to make a big jump this year. He doesn't have that big ass belly in the way of. And Matt Henry says, I think you're absolutely right about Dak. Dak to the Raiders. It could be. I don't think the Raiders want him. Caden Davis is a UDFA who's in his second year. He wasn't a rookie UDFA. No, this is his rookie year. Excuse me. Um, he's actually looking good. Good. He's got a decent deep route. He needs to develop better routes catch, and his hands are good. That's the thing I heard about him. Um, he has absolutely no special teams value unless it's as a tackler. So I don't think that's the issue with him. I think it's more that he knows how to make contested catches, over the shoulder grabs, adjust to the ball well. I'm not worried about rookies struggling in camp. They should, unless it's a first or second pick, because we didn't have a third pick. Remember? So unless they're saying that Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw is struggling, then I'm worried. And I haven't heard that. Right. Unfortunately, with the way the QB market is going, someone is going to overpay for him, but I don't think it's going to be Dallas. Neither do I. And you know what? I guess if Tua doesn't stay healthy, they're not paying him there in Miami either. And that's an option. Could you see Dak in Miami's offense? Dak in Cleveland. Yeah, that would be the one. That would be the one. But they still got another year left on Deshaun Watson's bloated contract. So I don't know if they'll get rid of him yet or not. Um, right now, Goff went deeper in the playoffs than Dak ever has. So I got to say, Goff is better. Dak hasn't been to an NFC Championship game. The Dallas Cowboys haven't been to a NFC Championship game since the '90s. Yet Sutton is going to the Steelers. He's off our roster, which is why we have almost 40 million. We have 40 million in unadjusted cap after you take off the Cam Sutton 2.1 dead cap value. And I ain't even worried about Dak. It's just been a conversation. Dak in the regular season is amazing. In the postseason, he's Kirk Cousins. That's why I say Dak Cousins and Kirk Prescott all the time. They're the exact same quarterback in the postseason that fails to get it done. They have the exact same amount of wins as Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence. One. because the charges were dropped. Clutch factor is real, 100%. The girlfriend dropped the charges, and the DA has nothing to back it up, so they're dropping it. I am not going to call Goff a goat. I can't. He may be one of the greatest Lions QBs all time when all's said and done, especially if he gets us a Super Bowl. But I don't think he's a goat yet. I see Paul Jones like the video. Is it time to buy into the Jack Campbell hype? It's still OTAs. I want to see it on the field. He had a good camp last year. Remember, he carried the green dot for half of the pre off season workouts. And Campbell does seem way more relaxed and confident in his interviews. He worked out hard. He improved his body. He's chiseled. All these guys are coming in yoked. They don't want to have the same failures as last year. Barnes looks built. Alex Anzalone is Alex Anzalone. He is what he is at his age. He scores alone. And if he misses tackles at running back's feet, I'll go back to calling him Anales again. Watson is another one that's not going to get paid the same when his contract is up. He can't stay healthy and hasn't been the same since Houston. Um, and he hasn't been the same since that coach left. Uh, say what you want, that coach got the most out of him. That year and a half off. It's a lot like Le'Veon Bell. Was Le'Veon Bell the same after he took the year off by not taking the franchise tag? He didn't. I think T. Higgins is making a mistake because the exclusive tag is 100% guaranteed. He could go out game one and get hit. It's that whole missing time effect. And you know what? It's it's workouts, dude. It's practice. That's what they're there for, is to work on things as undone. I hate when people just bring up every negative thing and thinks it's the worst thing on the sun under the sun. After this year, if JMO hasn't sniffed 700 plus yards and 5 to 8 touchdowns, guess what? You can label him a bust. But until that happens, I'm not labeling him that. Is undone. If you want to label everybody bust, go ahead. I'm not doing it. Gonna rate a guy that's only played in 2 games a bust. It's because AG didn't use him. He had 10 impactful plays in 18 snaps, and you're calling him a bust. That makes about as much sense as wiping your butt than taking a crap on Martin. Manu hasn't even played a down in the NFL, and you're calling him a bust. JMO hasn't even played a full season worth of games unless you include the playoffs. So, again, labeling him a bust when year 3 hasn't even been played makes no sense. I don't like making bad predictions about players. It makes no sense. It's like you're wanting people to fail. That's what it sounds like to me. You want people to fail. You want Brad Holmes to have some blemishes on his record, right? But to say they're bust before they played their second season or their first game or their third season, I don't get it. I don't call them predicting busts like that. I I just don't get it. Right. Matt Henry, you're exactly right, and I laid it out. This will be if he's able to stay healthy the entire year and play the entire season, if he has a this will be his first full season. If he has that 700 plus yards, 5 to 8 touchdowns, averaging 14 to 18 yards per catch at about 50 plus receptions. Is anybody going to complain? His tape wasn't as bad as you made him out to. You must be looking at the one play where he was blowed off his stance because he was only blowed off his stance one play out of 18. And that was in the first game. They brought him back for another game. He played 11 snaps in one game and he played another 7 snaps in another game. I don't know where you saw his tape was so bad. Hindsight's 2020. It is what it is. Everybody's gonna say should have drafted this person, should have drafted that person over this person or that person. But at the same time, how many touchdowns would we have not had? I think it's anything over 700, and the touchdowns are right because of how often he gets touchdowns. Um, I wasn't because they had a 4th round grade on him, and it was a compensatory pick they used at 96, and they didn't have a 4th round pick. And I'm talking about the Lions had a 4th round grade on him. There was a couple reputable sites that had a 4th round grade. There was 6th round, there was 7th round, there was UDFA. It was day 3 pick, but we didn't have a 4th round pick, and they didn't want to take a chance of not getting him because to the 5th round. But the Lions had a 4th round grade on Broderick Martin. They talked about it last year in Inside the Den. Calling a 3rd rounder a bust. Come on, bear down. I know. I'm defending Broderick. And like I said, play on the field means more than anything in practice. And I've already heard good things about Martin this year in the OTAs. So I don't get how you're calling him a bust because he had bad film in one game on one play. But the defense doing better than the offense this year. This is the first time they've said that at the beginning of camp. It's the first time we've heard this. And that's a great thing to hear. We should be excited for that instead of bashing every player. You know I'm a homer, JB, but I'm also going to keep it real. Right. You're no different than me. I'm a homer, but I'm a realist. Like, and you and I have talked. The weapons around Caleb should help him to succeed. But until you see him on the field, you don't know what you're going to get. Correct? Is that not what we said? I know what you're going to get in the media room. They started Benito Jones because he's a vet, and AG trusted him. They started Benito Jones over Isaiah Buggs, who had better stats because AG didn't like Buggs. So let's see. Benito Jones took on 2 double teams all season. Martin took on 10. I understand it will take a lot longer. He was drafted in the late 3rd, which technically compensatory. Yes, sir. Absolutely correct. He's still a rookie and will have rookie moments and rookie growing pains. I never once watched a USC game and said Caleb Williams looked like CJ Stroud. That's just me. I think the most pro ready quarterback this draft is probably Bo Nix, but he's at his ceiling. Every time he had to learn a playbook, he did it well. Got better every season. The other guy you can say that about is Michael Penix, adapting to new playbooks and learning them and doing well. Even though they're older, I saw both of those as the most pro ready quarterbacks coming out this year. And I said that. Right. Peyton Manning had a horrible rookie season. Everybody forgets that. Where I think he had more interceptions than touchdowns or real close to. And the team had a horrible record that year, if I remember right. And Tom Brady didn't play his rookie season, but his first season he played, he came in lit up. Nope. I do not want Michael Thomas. He cannot stay on the field. And Brad Holmes says he likes our secondary as is. I think they're going to hold on to that to roll it over to have more money next year. We have 38.3. I actually had talked about it right when you got in. It's 38.3 because 2.1 comes off of there for a dead cap hit after voiding Cam Sutton's contract. It went from a 7.5 to 2.1, and that was the money he was due for workout bonuses when he was in the facility at the time of the arrest warrant. Oh, yeah, I agree. I don't think we're signing anybody except maybe a kicker. But with the way Badgley played the other day outside at Allen Park, 8 for 8 over 53 yards, including one from 61 where he cleared the crossbar with 3 to 4 yards of space. That means he's improving his leg strength and his accuracy. He was 8 for 8 that day. James Turner, the kicker out of Michigan, is looking like he's going to be our kickoff specialist. He has a 92% effective rate of landing in the landing zone, which is huge with the new rules. Well, that's what they saw at Western Kentucky, their grandizer. They aren't taking into effect that he played defensive end and defensive tackle at his size at North Alabama Community College. I actually looked up his stats there, and he did about 50% of his snaps at both positions. He was effective in a pass rusher. Arnold has gotten a pick every day of practice. Arnold is 100% our CB2, if not our CB1. Watch. He has been the best standout of all the camps, is what I've heard as undone. Yeah, I can believe the OTA hype about kickers and punters, but I'm not putting much more stock in OTAs after that. Absolutely. But right now, Arnold looks great. Rakestraw is very thin. He's very a small frame guy if you actually look at him. He's even thinner than Arnold. FTP and One Pride, 100%. And it is that time. It's time to start talking these sponsors. Put it in the chat. We all love to hate them. It's for the people, for the pride. We got Glass in the Ground, the best window tinner in Saginaw. 409 Hamilton Street. That was an award given to him in 2023, and he's up for the award again in 2024. 989-443-9240 to set your appointment to get your windows tinted or your car detailed. Give him a call today. He can clean that whip up, make it look great, like this 300 C-Class or the Maserati SUV. Last but not least, Brandon Service, the place of my opponent, right at the corner of Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road in Flint, Michigan, 48507 or 70. Good Lord. Yeah, 48507. Used tires starting at $40. If you need a quote for new tires, please call 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself. Coming from Bama, Arnold is set up for early success. You got to admit, their defensive players come in and usually have decent seasons wherever they go. Um, I like the fact we didn't trade up into the top 15 to get them, like everybody said we were going to do. We were going to trade up to the top 15 and get Quinyon, Mitchell, Terrion, Arnold, or Kool Aid. is what everybody was saying. And I said, if we move up, it's going to be closer. It's going to be like 5 picks at most. Where'd we move up? 5 picks up, 24, picked them just ahead of the Packers. Gutenkirst has already came out and complained, called Brad Holmes a thief for trading up and stealing Arnold ahead of him because he wanted Arnold, much to the chagrin of John Dorn, Packers fame. It was 1A, 1B. We don't know what Mitchell will be here because he's not here. So I can't say that. I think Arnold played against better talent. He didn't give up very much in the touchdown department, nor did Mitchell at Toledo, but that was in the MAC. But we all saw that Sauce Gardner broke that small conference thing. FTP, FTV, and FTB from Grandizer. It's been such a great afternoon talking with y'all. And yes, is that the 49ers there? But try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. Matt Henry is undone. Dale, all of you guys. Fred Peterson, Paul Jones, Ricky Sakat, Orlando. Homer pick of the day, Mitchell will be elite. Hey, I wouldn't doubt it. The kids in the MAC have been stepping up when they get to the NFL. It's been surprising, but yet eventually we all knew it would get there. Oh, they had him while Pete Carroll was there. And we don't know if they're going to still have the Lions number or not. That remains to be seen. Yep. Good day, Dale. And Sutton did sign with the Steelers. Good for him. He had to get some money this year. Have a safe and good day, JB. Thank you, Grandizer. You as well. It's time to do the karma thing here. Go Rockets. That's my son's alma mater. Yes, we've talked about that, man, Henry. Congratulations again to your kid. Great field. Glad he got it. Glad he graduated. But I'm going to say, everybody always says, have a great day, have a good day. I'm going to say, have the day you deserve. So if you're a good person, you'll have a good day. If you're not, karma got you.
Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.